Before Robbie Gallaty pastored Long Hollow Baptist Church, he was the pastor of Brainerd Baptist Church. And I asked him how he encouraged his members there to disciple others. Listen.
Robbie, I want to come to you on this one because you realized you needed to start right in your own church staff. They did not know what you were talking about when you talked about discipling. What did you tell them and how did you start?
Yeah, so what do you do when you go to a church that's 3 times the size of the one you came from before and you're trying to implement a strategy of discipleship? And I felt like if we didn't have the leadership on board, it would be very difficult to have that trickle down into the church. And so I started discipling my staff. So in essence, what I did is I took our 3-hour business meeting, which is typical of most churches where you focus on buildings and bodies and budgets and Sunday school numbers. And in essence, what I did, John, is I changed the scorecard. I said, that's not what we're going to shoot for as success. Let's stop trying to focus on growing a mile wide and let's begin to grow deep in people's lives. And so we turned the 3-hour business meeting into an hour and a half discipleship time and then an hour and a half discussing issues in the church.
Yeah, basically your staff meeting.
Exactly. And it was amazing. What happened is I told the guys right off the bat, I said, we're going to memorize scripture together in the book of 2 Timothy. And they said, okay, what verses? And I said, we're going to memorize the whole book. And at that time, which was interesting, pastors on staff had never memorized chapters before or never memorized long extended verses before. And so they kind of balked out of that first. And I'll never forget, we're into chapter 1, getting ready to get into chapter 2. And it was almost like a light went off as I just sat there and you could sense the Lord's presence in a palpable way as one of our older staff members quoted the entire chapter of 2 Timothy 1. And John, that literally, that time of encouraging and devotions and sharing and living life together changed the course of our church and ultimately the course of our staff. And so at the end of a year, they didn't know this, but I was leading them in a discipleship group. I was modeling what it looked like. And at the end, I said, okay, now we've done this for a year. Now I want you 8 men and women to go find a group. I want you to find 3 to 5 people, and I want you to invest in them. Now, I say men and women in that context because we had 2 women on staff. But what we suggest, and I think it's biblical, I think it's healthy, is a gender-exclusive model. Men with men, women with women, and you can understand all the implications there. But that started this process of discipleship at Brainerd. So when we started, we probably had a handful of people in these groups of 3 to 5. And so over 5 years now, we're expecting in January, and these are rough numbers, we're expecting about 1,000 people in groups of 3 to 5. And this is in addition to Sunday school, in addition to the worship service on Sunday morning. And so it's really started to take off where people are duplicating and multiplying in our church.